Psalm 127. Psalm 127 is an important psalm that talks about the need of relying on God, the need of relying on God. A beautiful psalm that a psalm of degree, or a song of degree written by David. And it says, verse 1, Psalm 127, verse 1, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman walks but in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he gives his beloved sleep. Lo, children are a heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are the children of the youth. Happy is the man that has his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies at the gate. This one is talking about the need of relying on God. And it begins with, except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keeps the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is except the Lord, any building that will be done, any house that is going to be built, anything that is going to be established, if the Lord is not involved in the establishment, if the Lord is not involved in the building, then it is in vain for those who build it. It is in vain. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city. If the Lord is not taking watch of the city, then the watchman wakes up in vain. The watchmen who are keeping the city, the policemen that are going round, even in this time of curfew, the policemen that are going round, if the Lord does not keep the city, if the Lord does not works on the security of this city, if the Lord does not work on the security of our nation, then the guards are standing in vain. The policemen are watching in vain. The army are watching in vain. The people are waking up in vain. It says, it is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for he gives his beloved sleep. It will be vain for anyone to rise up early. That is working very hard, rising very early, sitting up late, eat the bread of sorrows. There are people who wake up very early and they will sit until very late to work, to make ends meet. If God is not with you, then you are doing that in vain. But remember that God will give sleep to those whom he loves. He will give sleep to those whom he loves. So it is in vain for anyone without God to rise up early, to work very hard, to put a lot of effort, but without the blessing of God. Except the Lord build the house. If God is not involved in whatever you are doing, then you are sure that you are doing it in vain. You are not going to be established. You are not going to prosper. The prosperity is going to come from the Lord. Verse 3 says that, lo, children are a heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. Children. The children are a heritage from the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is his reward. Children are the blessing that God gives to people who love him, those who trust in him. The fruit, children are fruit of the womb, and is a reward to those that is a blessing from God to those that trust in God. As arrows are in the hands of a mighty man, so are the children of your youth. The children of your youth. God will give you children in your youth. And those children are going to be the strength of the family. They are going to be the power of that family. It says that as the arrows are in the hands of a mighty man, so children, the children of the youth. Children in this case are compared to an arrow. or uh, a gun, a machine gun in the hands of the mighty, of a soldier. So children that are trained well, children that are blessing from the Lord, are the strength of the families where they are born. They are the power of the family where they are born. They are they are the blessing of the family where they are born. And it says, verse 5 says, happy is the man that has his quiver full of them. When your quiver is full of children who are blessing, then you have the strength and you will rejoice, because they will be able to stand with any enemy and drive the enemy away. It is a blessing to have children who believe. It is a blessing to have children who trust in the Lord. It is a blessing to have children who trust in the Lord, because there the Lord is going to build the house. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain who build it. So if children trust in the Lord, they will build the house through the Lord. They are going to be established by the Lord, and we are going to see them as a blessing. I want to encourage you this today, that trust in the Lord. Involve God in whatever you are doing. God is able to watch over us. God is going to preserve us, and God is going to establish whatever we are doing. At this time, when we are in the situation of COVID-19, and people are worried whether we are going to be established, your visions, the things that you have been aspiring to do, and you're wondering, will I make it? I want to encourage you that if you're with God, if you trust in God, if you walk with God, then you will be able to do them. You'll be able to accomplish whatever you have been aspiring to accomplish. You have a project that you want to finish. God is going to help you to finish it. You have some business that you've been doing. God is going to establish that business. You have a vision that you've been aspiring to launch. God is going to see it through, because God is going to establish you if you trust in Him. I pray that each one of us will trust in the Lord and will be encouraged that the hand of God is going to help you even to establish whatever that you're doing. And trust in God, and God will do it for you. Amen.